Yoga. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I had a video recorded and put up, but good edits behind the camera again. So today, pretty simple, we're going to run through a pulled session. We're here now about to get going. So yeah, new kind of training setup. The last couple of months for me have literally just been kind of a mini cut, brought the body weight down a little bit, set yourself up in a much better position, just a little bit leaner. A lot of digestion issues, so it was kind of forced into doing a little mini cut. But holding around 270 at the moment. A lot leaner, very, very hungry. But the next push-up phase starts in the next couple of weeks as well, which brings us on to the next stage of this off-season, which is gonna be what I touch on in this video a little bit, is off-season in general, the importance of a structured and prolonged off-season phase, and basically my plans now going forward in this off-season. So I'm gonna get cracking into this pull session, and during it I'll go through these little bits in regards to my plans, in regards to the importance of an off-season, etc. So I'll finish getting warmed up now, and then we will go from there. Today's pull session is mainly lat focused. So we started off with hanging leg raises, abs, and now we are on to single arm neutral grip pull down. So again, very lat focused, as you will see. Our next movement is lat focused, then we go on to kind of more of an upper back row, and then finish off with lats as well. So yeah, we have our hip hinging and kind of our RDLs and our pulls actually on a hamstring day now, which is slightly different, which enables us to focus more on actually putting more into these exercises rather than being so fatigued from them RDLs and stuff. So again, it's just what we find is best for us at the moment. But like I said, off-season wise now, Kuba's nearly finished his recovery phase, so is Meg, so am I. So it's going to be, things are really going to be pushing forward now over the next while. As both of us, as all three of us are pushing back up, food's going to go up, training's going to start to improve as well, and we're going to see big jumps forward in progression all across the board. 1 second. Okay, so like I was saying, the next half of our off season is basically planned out now. So what we're going to be doing is we have 2 more push-up phases and a couple of recovery phases in there as well. We will be back on stage September 23. So we'll be starting prep kind of April 23, May 23, kind of about 20 weeks out or so. So the show is going to be looking like Arnold Classic UK. For me, obviously the amateur part of it, and then for Megan Cuba, that would be, they'll be on the pro show as well. So the whole next 18 months or so are mapped out. Push-up phases, recovery phases, everything kind of planned. Give or take, you know, anything that comes up in the way. But I can't emphasize enough having a set structure in an off season, you know, because it passes by very fast. Like 18 months may seem like a long time, but it really fucking isn't. Like when you break it down, it's like two push-up phases of like 20-25 weeks, and then you're into a prep. So it really has to be every session being made count. If you come in and go through the motions, you know, there's going to be people making a lot more progress than you that you're going to be competing against. So, you know, all you can do is come in, make each session count, and you know, that's what off season should be. So, yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. So second exercise in for back, again a lat bias row. So as you will see in this, when we are rowing, we're not letting our elbow travel up or out for any upper back. What we're trying to do is we're thinking about elbow down and into the hip, which is going to work a lot lower lats. So if you look at this, it's not a row where we're trying to drive it back as far as we can. We're literally just trying to drive it back enough to kind of have our lat fully contracted. Any further, and it's just going to be upper back, which we're not trying to exactly bias during this movement. I think we're all trying to bring up our lats here. Mine are very, very poor, so we really have to be smart in terms of our programming, in terms of, you know, not just fucking moving weight for the sake of it, and actually really trying to hone in and focus on what part of the back we're actually trying to target. Okay, so just something I want to touch on is when I say push-up phases and maintenance phases, you know, recovery phases basically. So what I mean there is Push-up is obviously going to be when we're kind of pushing PEDs up, when we're pushing fuel up, when we're escalating the training volume, etc. during that time too. And then obviously recovery phases is when we pull back, obviously bring anabolic use down, reduce food, and just give the body a break from all them external stressors going in at it. So like, for example, like the recovery phases, what I like to do, or what we've been doing in recovery phases is, like this one we had, is we actually gave a chance to actually pull, like a little diet phase, like pull body fat off. So, you know, instead of just sitting at the body weight we were at, like I said, we pull body fat back, we pull weight down a little bit. So now, you know, I'm in a tidier position, appetite is firing, a lot less stress on the body. So then when I push back up next time, you know, my body is just gonna, like, it's like one step back, tidy up to leap two steps forward. So that's the way we've been liking to work our kind of recovery phase. It's kind of as tidy up periods, but again, everyone's different, everyone has different approaches. But personally, for me, that's kind of what way I like to approach it, and make that kind of recovery period productive as possible, leave myself in a good position to push forward. That felt way better, yeah. Like I was saying at the start of this video, I'm going to go through kind of the importance of an actual structured off season. So I know people enjoy going from show to show, competing every season, but realistically, you'll see yourself, these are the people who look the same every single show without making any drastic improvements. Like, it takes time to build muscle. You know, it doesn't take a 3-month off season straight back into a dieting phase. It's not going to change your physique drastically to build the tissue you want. So if you enjoy competing every season, work away, but just realize that in order to make substantial progress and like massive changes to your physique, it's going to take time, which is why for me it will be 4 years by the time I compete again, and even for Cuba this year it's going to be 2 years since he was on stage. So again, it doesn't happen overnight. Even 8 months is probably not long enough to make the progress you want. So just take that into consideration. You know, you don't necessarily have to stay lean all year round just because social media says so. We need to have structured off seasons, not be afraid to put on a little bit of body fat here and there, and actually progress our training in order to make the progress we want, you know, from a competing standpoint. Sorry, when I say take time off away from the stage to make the progress you want, I mean being productive in that time. I don't mean taking time off and just kind of going through the motions. Like, again, in order to build tissue, it takes work. So the people who make the most progress are the ones who are consistent all year round and not just for a period coming up to a show. So treating your off season as if you were treating a contest prep with the same attitude, you're going to see drastic improvements. So coming into the gym, like I said, every session and trying to take leaps forward to progress, not just coming in, going through the motions and having no structure at all to your training. So yeah, time away from stage is needed, but you could take 4 years off between shows and make little to no progress if there's no structure or no kind of you know, intent with that off season itself. So again, just some food for thought. As you can see there, we done our upper back row on the prime extreme row. So that's third exercise in. We're going to run with a pullover now. So single arm cable pullover, just to finish off, fourth exercise in. And again, this is lat focus. So the majority of this session is lats, and it is what kind of I'm lacking most. So the last few weeks I feel like it's the most I've kind of connected with my lats, and I definitely have seen a small improvement for it as well. So I think, you know, over the next couple of months now, we will start to see the improvements I need in them weaker areas. But again, that's why I think me and Cuba in particular have kind of the same areas we want to bring up, are the same weak areas. So it kind of works out well that we do get to kind of structure our sessions and our program around them areas. Yeah. Harder. I want you fucking hard. There we go. Hard. Beautiful. Savage. Finishing off now with biceps. Well, we have calves after this, but 4 back movements, and now we're finishing off with dumbbell hammer curls. Literally just 2 sets. For me personally, my arms are very weak, so again, we've kind of manipulated the volume on arms across the week. So I'm basically training arms every day, you know, 2-3 sets every single day. They're recovering really well, so I'm training them basically, you know, at the end of my, or the start of my hamstring session, the start of my leg session as well. And then obviously we're hitting boys with pull and tries with push as well. So they're getting a lot of volume, but they're recovering from it, and they're pretty shit, so they need it. But in regards to the importance of an off season again, so coming back to another point I want to touch on is actually building your calories up through an off season so that you can start your prep in a good position. So let's say, for example, like you don't have a productive off season, you don't try and push your food up, you stay doing high cardio throughout your off season. It's not really an off season, and what you're going to do is you're going to end up starting your next dieting phase already on a fuckload of cardio, already on very, very low food. So what happens then is, you know, straight away cardio is going to be super high, food is going to get low very, very fast in order to get the condition you want. And what's going to happen then is energy levels are going to seriously start to deplete, recovery is going to take a big hit, you're going to start eating the muscle tissue, and therefore your dieting phase, yes, you're losing body fat, but you're losing a lot of tissue alongside that as well. And you know, in comparison to someone who has built their calories up during an off season, cardio was low starting off, food was high starting off. They're going to be able to maintain and sustain their high performance and strength throughout their prep, because the energy levels and the food is going to be higher than yours. So they're going to maintain tissue they have. They're going to stay pretty fucking big during their prep, while you cannot sustain the energy during your sessions, cannot hold on to your strength, and therefore start to kind of eat the tissue as well. So you have someone who's done a proper off season and who actually has built food up, who is holding a lot more muscle tissue than you and can sustain that during their prep. And then you have you on the other hand, who is going to eat in the muscle tissue. Yeah, you may get lean, but you may sacrifice hormonal health as well and a lot of tissue along the way. So when you weigh up the options, like what is going to be more beneficial to you and what is the healthier option as well, you know. So I think, like I said, people find it difficult, especially because of social media, to actually have a structured off season and actually build that food up. But they don't realize that when you build food up, performance is going to rise, and you're going to build more tissue, and therefore you're going to be able to eat more food. So again, it's just some food for thought that, you know, how important an actual structured off season is. You know, and I don't say it, you know, I don't say it as if it's not true. You can see from experience, like I can see for myself as well, that next time I step on stage there will be a big difference. And like, I don't even have to say that, you will see for yourself, and that's because, again, you know, I'm taking the time to actually fucking grow, and it's needed. So yeah, that's all for now. I think I've run out of stuff to say for this clip. Okay, so another little thing I want to touch on in regards to an off-season or kind of time away from the stage as well is when we are competing, when we are in that kind of contest prep phase, energy levels obviously take a hit. Our focus is completely on that show. Like if you've been in that contest prep environment, like you know that nothing else matters. Yes, like I find productivity elsewhere does pick up a little bit as well, but like in terms of your overall focus and drive, the drive is towards that show. So I find that, you know, personally for me, that taking a step away from stage and being on that environment of contest prep has allowed me to grow my business during this kind of time off from the stage as well. So bear in mind that bodybuilding doesn't make you money. So like you're not going to make money from bodybuilding. If anything, you know, you're going to lose it with the expenses of the game itself. So what you have to think of is, if you are young and you are coming up, like, do you have your financial future set up in front of you, or, you know, what you want to work towards? If you don't, you have to be like, right, you know, the stage is always going to be there, you know, and obviously we're going to continue to work towards the stage, but being in that environment of a contest prep, for the most part, for most people, isn't going to allow them or be the most productive scenario for them to be in order to take their business or their work or whatever they're doing financially forwards. You know, for me, the last kind of, in particular, year and a half has allowed me to place a huge emphasis and give so much back to clients and grow my own client base and take my clients to where they want to be. And obviously, you know, set myself up, you know, build my business up from basically the ground up. If I was in a contest prep environment, yes, I'm productive, but there's not a chance I'd have that same focus and drive towards something else, because I just wouldn't have the energy and I'd be distracted by the object and the goal of the stage. So again, something to think of, like if you are young and you are coming up, do you have financial future sorted and kind of what you want to do work-wise? Because bear in mind, bodybuilding does not make you money. It's only going to lose your money, realistically. So yes, we can still be working 110% consistently towards our goal, but again, if you're competing every single season, are you working towards the long-term goal? Because bear in mind, bodybuilding isn't around forever. You're not going to be able to compete forever. So are you doing what you need now to not just build yourself up bodybuilding wise, but building your empire, or, you know, your brand, your name, etc. elsewhere? You know, so again, just food for thought. For me, that is a big thing in the off season, okay, and a big thing that's enabled me to progress on that front. So that's basically what I touched on, is the actually taking enough time away from stage to make the improvements needed. Also, the other important thing is actually building them calories up and leaving yourself in a good position to start the contest prep in, and then obviously thinking ahead long term after bodybuilding, or, you know, building what you want work-wise, passion-wise, outside kind of the game itself, and it's going to help you progress and chase, you know, other avenues rather than just bodybuilding itself. Like I said, that isn't going to make you money, or vice versa. So just a couple of things as to why I find that structured off seasons are extremely important, not just for progression physique wise, but for progression across the board as well. I definitely rambled there. So that is today's pulse session wrapped up. Really good session. Really like the sessions at the moment. Obviously program's slightly different at the moment, but really enjoying it. At the moment it's 2 days on, 1 day off, repeat. Like I said, really focusing in on my weaker areas and obviously curves and stuff as well. So really enjoying it, really going well, progressing nicely over the last kind of 4 to 6 weeks. And like I said, over the next while now it's really going to kind of take off. So really excited for it. As I touched on as well, a couple of things in and around the importance of off-season that I personally feel why off-season is so important, that a lot of people may not place enough emphasis on it as they probably should. I've done a post on our video on this on Instagram actually a while back, and I got pretty good feedback. People kind of, it resonated with a few people as well. So yeah, hopefully we take something kind of from this, and then also just run through kind of where I'm at in terms of transition into my next push-up phase now in the next couple of weeks, and kind of when my next show is going to be. So my next show is going to be, next prep is going to be basically 18 months from now, so it will be April, May 2023, and then I reckon we'll be aiming for the Arnold Classic UK 2023 will be the first show. I reckon we'll do a run of shows, but that will be the first one, so that's another 2 years. There should be a lot more progress before then, and then I will jump into the super heavyweight class there and just see where we land really. The aim is always to go and win, but it's a different ball game, super heavyweight, so literally go see where we land, see where we need to bring up, see where we're falling behind, and then go back, make the improvements needed, and then go back at it again. It's as simple as that. But 2023 will be the next shows. I will take you along as much as I can, just in terms of the process in general, from what I'm doing on my end, training wise, food wise, everything along the way. If you're interested, fantastic. If you're not, fantastic. I really don't mind, but I'm going to do it anyway. But hopefully take something from it along the way and kind of get an understanding as to the way we're doing things. Like I said, there's a million ways to skin a cat, but this is kind of my journey, the process that I'm on, and kind of my road to get to where I want to be, etc. So I won't ramble on for too long. I hope you enjoyed. Just a training session today, but next week Ed will be in again and we'll be on a full day, so we go through food and everything then. But other than that, thank you very much. Thank you for watching, I appreciate it, and yeah, I will have another one out next week as well, so thank you very much.